Another Tuesday, another day. Another day to talk about some Gundams. How's it going, everyone? And hello, Agent.
Thank you very much for having me again. Good to be back.
Yeah. Well, it kind of helps that I don't let you out of the back room anymore.
Hey, I've been good.
You're right. You keep this up, we might just let you out.
Hey, I haven't peed on the carpet in 2 weeks, okay? I think I've earned a right to get out.
We'll see by the end of the show. So how's it going?
Going much better. Back on track with my channel, getting some material out. And now I'm just adding more responsibility on me by adding a whole nother segment to my channel, a villain review. So I figure instead of being such a wet blanket, being so serious, I could do a villain review on some of the lesser known villains, but more fun villains.
So who's the next villain going to be? Say Captain Marvel?
Okay, you can stop right there. I think what's going to be, I'm going to probably do the villain from Zoolander. I want to do number 2 from the Austin Power movies because he's just hilarious.
Mugatu.
I want to do I want to do the villain from Dodgeball. I want to do the villain from UHF. Just have a little bit of fun. I'll put some serious ones in there.
We have to come up with a list of good villains for you.
I think since Dune's coming out, the Baron Harkonnen, I want to do him. Just for for the movie coming out, just what we know up to that point.
That's not a bad approach. What about Ramba Ral?
Okay, we're talking about villains. Of course, then again, yes, this is me. Ramba Ral would not be a bad subject.
And it's kind of timely. We've taken all these weeks going through this, and I think that would be a good one to tackle.
Yeah, I think I'll add him to the list. And I think another one to be good one for those who know who he is Chiron from Robotech. Chiron the Backstabber. He's basically the Starscream of the Zetrati.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not really as familiar with it. With Robotech. I mean, aside, I've watched some of the episodes, but I don't know it as well as I would know, say, Gundam.
A very good close comparison would be the old Voltron with the lions, Prince Lotor. Long white hair, kind of a jackass. He was always after the princess. He wanted to seduce her. Chiron's a lot like that, except for he's disgusted with the women of his own side, and it's like there's reading in the novels. I read the novels when I was a teenager. They call him Chiron the Backstabber because there's a story of him actually Rick Hunter saw him shoot down 2 of his own battle pods to get to one Veritech. So he's willing to kill more of his own allies to get to the enemy. It's kind of like being on the Executor in Star Wars. You're going to go up rank really fast, but there's a pretty good chance that Vader's going to choke you out. He'd be a good subject.
Speaking of good subjects, let's bring in Fenrir.
Hey, gentlemen, sorry for the delay.
Nah, life happens, and we move on. We keep going. Though I should say, due to some circumstances going on, Brightest Day won't be here today for the stream. But
yes, I've seen the messages.
Thoughts with him. Yeah. Well, best to kind of leave that for him and his channel. I kind of don't want to get into it too much, especially considering the circumstances.
Yes, let's just move on.
Yeah. So, I guess we should probably get into things a little bit. Though real quick. Fenrir, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm just pissed off at the stupidity of modern comic books, but I'm good.
Oh yeah. Well, see, that's why I wanted to. That's why I'm really enjoying going through all this that we've been doing to get to talk about some classic
Something actually
70s
good.
anime.
Yeah.
Gotten so big, so popular. They're building giant robots of it for real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're never gonna see a Jonathan Kent statue ever. Can't do that. And if you do, it's probably not for the best reasons.
You'd be employed in a month at a dildo factory.
Maybe in the meantime,
Definitely.
I like to think we're getting a statue of Char or my man Ron Burrell.
Oh, I'd made a statue of that. I'd make a statue of that. The guy earned it. I mean, he's only been around I guess 5 episodes if you count the others technically in action. But yeah, he's made an impact on me.
The guy's first appearance was you caught a glimpse of him at the death of Garma, where he was just one of many faces you saw among all those people watching the funeral.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he
turned
turned
out
out
to
to
be
be
a little taste of the next big villain of the story.
It's a nice way of introducing him, giving you just a tiny taste of it, just like a glimpse at a possible antagonist.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. So yeah, let's get into this, shall we?
I just gotta say, I really fell in love with the character Ron Burrell. He's the kind of guy that makes you love the villain, specifically with his way of thinking, his strategic combat, his way of viewing strength. And I realized one thing while watching this episode: they were going after the men, but never the women or children, even the Zeon soldiers. That's a good point that I've seen through that.
Yeah, it shows the character of the Zeon Principality in general. It's very revealing about the other side. They're supposed to be so evil and bad. And they're being more honorable than the side you're supposed to be rooting for.
Yes,
well,
the
even
feds.
then, what you're seeing is that these are still people that they're not out to just go ravage and kill all the men, women, and children. All the women and children that get in their way.
Wait a minute, are you telling me that the Zeon don't get together at the dinner at chow time and rub their hands together maliciously, going, "How are we going to kill everyone inside?" Yeah,
No, most likely not.
No.
I mean,
that's coming up in November. We only do that for Thanksgiving.
I think I can see that little skinny purple-haired dude do that, but what is even his name? I honestly forget about it.
Well,
the freaky one that shows up here, the one who doesn't send the extra Zakus.
The one who looks like a praying mantis.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, the one that looks like he'd be driving a rickety van by a schoolyard.
Dude, come on.
Okay,
that
fine.
Is too accurate. That is just too accurate. Don't forget to put the ice cream. I mean, an ice cream van specifically.
Right on the side of free toys and ice cream. I'm not saying it works. I've fallen for it twice.
I mean, how do you think I got you how do you think I trapped you in the back room?
Yeah, I know. And then you tell me I can't pee on the carpet.
Yeah. I'll have to smack you across the nose like a dog.
You got
jokes aside and whatnot.
Well, at least it's better than when I had Ironcaster on my place. I mean, 3 days and he can even learn if it rubs the lotion in the basket or he gets the hose. 3 freaking days, dude. I had to kick him out. He was just too boring.
I annoyed you enough that you just kicked me out and I got to leave.
Yeah, that's a good point, but still.
Should we get in today's episode?
Probably. So,
to get into the structure of this, I have presented a bit of a little slideshow going over some moments of the episode, as we'll go over the synopsis of the episode and pause momentarily and pause as we go to discuss the episode, and with more wrap-up thoughts at the end of the discussion. For today's episode, we are, of course, talking about hand-to-hand combat. This is episode 20. The White Base is parked over a lake, during which the crew is given some downtime. The crew has been told not to move from their location until Odessa Day. Down in the prison block, Ryu keeps an eye on Amuro, as Frau Bo delivers his meal. Amuro says that Rambarel will attack soon. When Ryu says he'll be the one to pilot Gundam, Amuro says he'll leave White Base entirely. Ryu gets angry at this, punching him in the face. And he tells Amuro that Lieutenant Matilda had thought him to be something special. Ryu and Frau soon leave.
Again, mentioning of psychic powers on my version of dub.
Yes, this is one of those extra little bits where they try to work that in for what we will later get called the new types, which is supposed to be part of that next evolutionary step of humanity. So, I mean, with this, I think it is important to see that we are seeing some actual care being given to some of the background characters, such as the two communications guys, or the tacticians.
Yeah, spoilers. Let's just go.
But no. We're fine to talk about some of this stuff now. I mean, you have Amuro, just to kind of bring it back home. Amuro's at his lowest point, and frankly, he's still being a smug piece of shit. He does deserve getting that attention.
Yes, he does.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some people. Oh, he disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
Some people are just, they're so stubborn or so stupid. Sometimes the only way to get through.
Goddamn red button.
Sometimes the only get through to some people is smack them around a little bit. Some people are just built that way.
Oh yeah, it was weirdly satisfying to see him punch Amuro.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially for being Ryu this time. I mean, it's not like you're watching Bright slash someone around again.
Yeah,
and I mean
that's a big guy.
Yeah, Ryu's the second most qualified, is really the most qualified soldier on the ship, except Amuro came along as a bit of a hot shot that wound up just being the one who pilots the Gundam.
Yep, and constantly has their lives in his hands. So
I can't help but wonder if there's not a bit of some resentment with Ryu towards Amuro there. No.
From what I see from his scenes, he doesn't.
I mean, it never really comes up, but I can't help but wonder if he doesn't feel something towards Amuro that there's that is a thing. That the rest of the crew seem to bend over backwards for Amuro, and Ryu's telling him, you know what? If keep this up, I'm just gonna pilot the Gundam instead.
Yeah, I think Ryu is more in the mind of a meritocracy. It's basically you earn it, and sitting around whining like some little girl is not going to cut it. It's like he's going out there, and you got to figure that they're going out there with the other two mobile suits, which aren't as powerful as the Gundam, risking their lives. And Amuro's got the most powerful one. He's got the cushiest job, really, and he's just blowing it off. And this guy's like, no. You want to go out there, you earn it.
Yeah, I mean, more often than not, Ryu's the one who goes out in a fighter jet.
That's pretty much the chances of dying on those are huge.
Yeah, he's the least armored one out on the battlefield.
I gotta say one thing, and I know this is something out of nowhere, but Sayla is the worst Gundam pilot there is.
You don't say.
I saw a fight with the Gundam, it just felt wrong.
Right. Well, we get to that. We'll move up here a little bit. Hayato heads to the bridge and talks to Bright about whether they'll be relying on Amuro after all, which Bright confirms. Mirai says that it was originally Bright's idea to take Amuro off the Gundam, and Bright claims that the thought kept passing his mind about why Amuro didn't bring the Gundam to Zeon. Ryu soon enters the bridge and says that Amuro will be fine. Elsewhere, Rambaral receives a message from Dozel that Makuve says that the 3 land-type Doms are being sent to them. Ral plans on attacking the Trojan horse as soon as they arrive. Makuve, however, not wanting Giran to find out about the resources his mines are providing to Caecilia, decides instead to hold off on sending them to Ral. And there we go. There's the praying mantis. Man.
He's just sick.
God. I mean, just give him an ice cream truck, a sign saying one free toy for each ice cream, and put him in front of a school.
Wait,
I
dude,
like to
is
think
it
The whole picture just gets there together.
I like to imagine his eyes his eyes slit sideways. Like
It's
he's
like-
not fully human.
You know how he looks? It looks like someone took a skeleton and threw a wet sheet over it.
It really builds up the sinisterness of him. You look at him, you want to hate him.
He looks like what Jack Skeleton's kid with Freddy Krueger would look like.
Oh, look, it's Garma's older brother.
Yeah, we know which one became genetic garbage out of that deal.
Look, Garma got the looks, and Makuve got the strategy. He got the copy of
They say
Strategio.
strategy is good, but having strategy is good, but come on, at some point you got to realize the looks kind of help a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, I figured this guy's got the charisma of a cactus, so yeah, that strategy it's going to work better in the background.
You know,
Yeah.
I heard a rumor that the Grinch song was actually written about him.
I can see him doing that. Of course, he'd probably eat the dog. I mean, look at it. Does it look like I'm waiting for a lizard tongue just come out?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's just-
I know what he looks like now.
One of those snake tongues.
The miniseries V, when they tear off the face, the lizard underneath, that's what it looks like.
like he
Wait,
should have
V for
a
Vendetta?
lizard tongue. Like he should have a lizard tongue wrapped around his finger there, as he's like,
Face in the air.
yes. I love it. Every time he shows up, we just go off course and just start going on about how he looks like the
Because he's
personification of
creepy as
a villain.
hell, dude. Dude, because he's
Okay.
creepy as all hell.
Now, for the older fans, I know what he looks like. If anyone remembers the cartoon, the Silverhawks from the 80s,
I remember that
Monstar's
one.
assistant, Yes Man. Yes, Master, right away.
Yeah, a bunch
He
of,
looks
a
like
bunch
that.
Yeah, it's that show about a bunch of cyborg space sheriffs with power.
Yeah, it was so insane, but it was so awesome.
Yeah, I heard they're bringing it back, and I'm not very happy.
Yeah, please, no.
Because
Please
modern
don't
day.
do that. They're going to gay everything out. They'll have the brother and sister making out or something, call you a bigot for not liking it.
Oh god.
Was it this
Yeah,
guy?
everything we love is getting killed.
That was the show, but there's a character called Yes Man. Literally called Yes Man.
Yes, man.
And he's like at the bottom part of him is a snake.
Yeah, if that's coming back, that guy's probably either gonna be gay or
There we go.
yeah, they're gonna.
Yeah,
I mean,
tell me that doesn't look like him.
Come on, dude, you're exaggerating there. This guy is way creepier than this guy.
I don't know.
Well,
I think
enough
I'd
with
rather
the,
trust.
Okay,
So,
okay,
I
which
trust
one
Yes
of
Man
them
around my
would you
kids.
not trust with your kid?
Yes Man. Absolutely Yes Man.
What the hell did he do? I mean, I can
Just-
vaguely remember the episodes, but
He just kept saying yes. Kind of like sucking up to Monstar.
Oh.
So, the appearance of M'Quve aside, was there anything else you wanted to, the fact of M'Quve's backstabbing them? There's the ulterior plans going on.
Gee, him backstabbing? Say it isn't so.
Yeah, I mean, a person who looks like that can never backstab you.
That's why you keep weaklings on a short leash.
Or just kill them. There's a saying: if you're a weakling and you have a very, very strong leader, don't try to be stronger or smarter than them. They'll keep you alive.
Yep, don't try to outshine the leader. They'll get you killed.
Yeah, look at
PDF could
Starsky.
teach you
Who's the
that.
example of that?
Oh,
we ready to
Example
move
of
on?
that. Sure, let's go.
sorry about that.
Yeah. Back on the white base, Ryu is awakened by Sayla and is told that Hayato, Kai, Howard, and Maximilian have all run off. Ryu jumps in a jeep and go after them. After he leaves, Bright wonders if they have been paying too much attention to Amuro at the expense of the other crew members. Bright also comments that while Amuro is away, he had the horrible doubts about being the commander of the ship. M'Quve's subordinate, Uragang, heads to meet with Rambaral at the planned rendezvous point and lies to him about the Doms being destroyed. Ral tells him to report to M'Quve that he will still carry out the mission. Ral tells Haman and Clamp that they will carry out the mission anyway using guerrilla tactics. Ral plans on using the Gallop and Azaku to distract the white base, while he and several other soldiers utilize Kui tanks to approach the white base and board it. Ryu finally catches up to Hayato and the others, who tell him that they are sick of Bright spending so much time on Amuro. Let me move up here a bit. So much time on Amuro, and that they want to join up with another Federation ship. This angers Ryu, who punches Kai. Drink. They soon notice the Gallop and the Kuis, and Ryu gets up, tells the others to it's up to their conscience on whether they will follow him or not. Hayato and the others decide to return to the white base. Sorry, what was that?
And I'm just saying, the guy is pretty much huge. You can pretty much just carry them all back.
Yeah, Ryu's really that kind of morale leader for the soldier side, and he's indispensable.
Yeah, there's always the big lug with the big heart in every team.
He's like the Colossus of the X-Men team.
Oh, perfect analogy or perfect comparison. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like my question is, how come no one's smacking Bright around when he starts having second doubt or second thoughts?
Who's going to slap the captain?
One of the female members? I don't think that's going to have the same effect, but who knows?
I'm just remembering Friday Night Tights. Kyle Dunnigan and
Thank you for holding me accountable.
Thank you for holding me accountable.
Oh God, I laughed so hard on that one. First time I've ever watched that show. I actually watched it, and I was crying, laughing, trying to work at the same time. It just wasn't working out for me.
Oh, it's definitely a highlight of the week. So yeah, here we have, half the crew deciding to just jump off the white base and try to go find anyone else. Like it's never really it hasn't really come up, but the other guys are just getting fed up with the way they're being treated on the ship. I mean, they see Amuro getting so much slack. Yeah, I mean, everyone else is just getting so much more slack, I'm sorry, no, it's Amuro's getting all the slack and all the second chances. and they're not getting the same any similar sort of respect. I mean, Hayato and Kai are still going out in the field to pilot their respective suits.
Well, the Federation idea of encouragement is, a good smacking. These guys smack
True.
people. It's like they smack each other more than the Three Stooges do.
Now that I think about it, the Federation pretty much abuses its members. I think the Zeon are pretty much better off than them.
I agree. They definitely treat their soldiers differently, especially in hard times. Like Rambo would rally them, encourage them. The Federation, or at least on White Base, I can't say for the whole Federation, but at least on White Base, they're smacking each other around. I mean, there's only two languages within the multiverse: reason and violence. I prefer to be fluent in both, but you see the Zeon are more fluent in reason when it comes to discipline and encouragement, and the Federation, as far as we can see, it's violence.
Well, I mean, Zeon is also, as we see, quite fluent in backstabbing betrayals.
That's only the weaklings. That's why you kill them. Like Fenrir said.
Yep.
So Char was being weak?
Oh, no. Char is actually the most dedicated soldier there is, in my opinion. If not, he is definitely most dedicated to the philosophy of Zeon. And that's the important part.
Chris says we're largely blowing it out of proportion. I mean, hey, it's always possible.
How'd you come say it to my face?
He knows not to go near the bars. We had to... If you keep up your antics, we're going to have to tie you up like Hannibal Lecter.
Fun.
So, yeah, one of the things I really like is this shot here of the ship. The ship with the Zaku's jumping right out the front. It was with the Fat Tom, I think it was. Oh, hey. Welcome back.
Hi there.
Hey, Chrissy boy.
Welcome.
Yeah, you guys are definitely blowing that all out of proportions there.
Which part are you talking about?
Well, that Zeon only works out of reason and the Federation works out of violence. I'm sorry, but that's a complete and total bullshit. I mean, look at everything that Zeon has done, from dropping a colony on the Earth, along with starting the war.
Okay, Chris.
I'm
just gonna stop you there.
Along with gassing colonies full of innocent civilians,
along
with backstabbing anyone that gets in their way of their self-serving intentions.
Dude, shut up for a second. Listen to other people. I'm gonna shut you up there. I'm gonna shut you there.
Oh no, you guys did your fair share of bashing the Federation here. So you're gonna listen to me for a moment.
Oh come on, I'm
not
not even
bashing
close to
the Federation. We were just bringing up facts.
Yeah, and you guys are giving up one-sided facts. You forgetting. Yeah, heck, you guys don't even know the origin of the Principality of Zeon. The Principality of Zeon was founded completely on backstabbing and self-serving purposes. Do you know how the Republic of Zeon was first founded? I mean, heck, the whole purpose of Zeon declaring war is a lie. They're saying that they're declaring war for independence, but they've already had independence for a number of years. They already had declared independence underneath Zeon Zum Daikun for a number of years before his death. The only thing the Federation ever did to Zeon was put a trade embargo on them. Nothing else.
Oh, that's definitely a declaration of war.
So this is, and they were thriving. They were advancing they were doing good for themselves.
Well, the thing
So
was, we were saying
this
is the
whole
way
war,
the
this whole war is a war of aggression against the Federation. So Xeon
Well-
is the aggressor here, not the Federation, but Xeon.
well, the point we were making was not against each other. It was the way each side treated its own soldiers. Now, dropping a colony,
Yes,
gassing
and-
people, they're supposed to be innocent. Hey, that's war. Don't start nothing, won't be nothing. You get to choose who you screw with. You don't get to choose how
Yes,
they
and you
respond.
know what? You also, besides fighting a war of ammunition, soldiers, and whatnot, you also have to fight a war of hearts and minds, or else you lose. Who is going to side with us? Who is going to side with a faction that is performing genocide?
Hi, Nerdporial. Welcome to the
Hi,
same old arguments we come
Hi,
across every
Nerdporial.
week.
Genocide's a very
Nerdporial.
ugly word.
What do you?
Yeah,
What
we're
else do
having
you
a-
call
All
a
right,
mass massacre?
guys. All right,
Another time.
No. We need to get this over with. We
Gundam.
need to see
All
which
right, we
side
should-
is right.
I feel like we need to pull up the meme of war is bad, and then the cool robots are.
But in general, we're only seeing mostly the white base's side of the story. We're not seeing all of Xeon. I mean, heck, in later versions, we do see more of Xeon, in which case they are a bit brutalish. I mean, heck, in 8th MS team, you have the head of this Xeon science expedition killing his subordinates so that he can retain all of the credit for himself for the creation of a powerful mobile armor. On White Base, you have a crew, mostly a skeleton crew made up of mostly former civilians and teenagers. So yes, there's going to be, for angsty teens, there's going to be a little bit of corrective measures made.
All right.
Oh,
Yeah.
let's say I did make the point of what I was just referring to the white base. I can't speak for the whole Federation. So it's just the white base of what we've seen so far. I
All right,
wanted
guys,
to make that clear.
guys. I got to stop it here. I want to try and get us back into this for the episode.
My apologies.
Chris, thank you for coming in to give some context and pushback.
Yeah, I think the Federation just gets a little bit of a bad rep because everyone wants to root for an underdog.
All right, let me I get my notes. Back on the white base. Oh, actually. Oh, which I guess we could take a moment to talk about our new tanks.
Actually, they're technically old.
Have these shown up before in the show? Because
No, but they mentioned in the show that they're old. They are old troop transports.
you know, it's funny that like I was seeing some video recently of some sort of automated vehicle that looks in a way kind of pretty similar to this. That's like intended to help move police around during riots. You know,
So it's
minus
urban
the
tactical?
gun turn on top.
So they're called QE troop transports. They were brought about. They were created sometime around the early years of the UC century for Xeon.
Probably for breaking it down. Probably for disrupting riots, I imagine.
Disrupting riots, helping with invasion of colonies.
So
thank
basically,
you
it's
for looking
urban
that up.
tactical unit.
Basically, yes. Something like that.
Okay.
Let's see, back from white base. Okay, that's right. We got past that. Makuve subordinate. Let's see. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get caught up in my notes where we were at. Ra plans on using the Gallop and the Zaku to distract the white base, while he and several other soldiers utilize the Kui tanks. Or Kui or Q? QE. That was QE tanks to approach the white base and board it. Ryu finally catch up to the others, tell them that they're sick. They're sick. Holy shit! I read this already. They notice the Gal tanks and the Kiwis, and Ryu gets up, telling the others it's on their conscience on whether they will follow him or not. Hayato and the others decide to return to the white base, and we get the buggy apparently can hover.
Yeah, it's just like the vehicle that Frau Bo used in the previous episode when she was trying to get back to the white base.
So yeah, this was the back of that, like kind of like what to get that closer look where we have here 5 soldiers on either side.
Yeah, like I said, these are QE troop transports. Let's see here. There's actually a picture. Here's a picture of them that actually they can be used in space too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, here's a picture.
Oh, okay. That must be a space variant, huh? Because these are whiter color, and those arms seem to sweep upwards.
And then also apparently have some there's also a variant that has attachments for Magella attacks.
Oh, I like that.
I mean, it's a decent design. I mean, it protects the those that it's carrying it from oncoming fire until they get to their destination. Can't say much for it having to go down alleys or anything, but
Yeah. Yeah, they're mentioned as they're apparently brought again up in 8th MS team.
It's a unit that I'm surprised has not really gotten much notice, because honestly, before rewatching this, I had totally forgotten these tanks existed.
Oh, like I said, from what is said in the show, they're kind of older models that were kind of phased out. That's why Rumbarall has them. Rumbarall at this point, he has nothing else besides these Kiwis, a couple Zakus, the Gallop, and also the Gallop's cargo hovercraft. Because Makuve is restricting his resources, purposely restricting his resources. In fact, actually, later on in the show, I think in the lore, the DOMs that we see later on in the show were originally intended to go to Rumbarall, but Makuve redirected them and said that they were destroyed in a Federation attack, so that he could give them to people that he could trust, which were the Black Tri-Stars.
Okay, we'll be able to see them in action in the next probably 5-10 episodes. So by Christmas.
In fact, I do believe it is mentioned in the show that Dolzel sent a ship with the DOMs on it, and Makuve had the transport redirected.
Hey, Jace, how's it going?
Hey, Jace.
Welcome, Jace.
Hey, dude.
All right, so getting back into this.
I gotta admit, I enjoyed watching the characters having combat more than just the Gundams.
Yeah, I think that in Gundam, that's one of the things that is probably the best thing that comes across is when you have either grunts fighting or hand-to-hand combat.
It definitely, it's a change of pace.
Hero from Sweden. Oh, shit. Norway, I mean. So.
Yeah, it's pretty much
Gallop and
basically the
Quees.
same thing if you think about it.
The Gallop and Quees.
Ooh, careful
Hueys, approach the white base.
I'm kidding,
cell,
dude. I'm just joking. Just joking.
and putting on his uniform and preparing to sortie. On the Gallop, Haman muses on Amuro being the pilot of the Gundam and wonders on what will happen to him in the battle. With the enemy approaching, everyone returns to the bridge on the white base. Sayla heads into the Gundam and launches, fighting with the Zaku. Bright authorizes Frau to let Amuro out of solitary and put him on one of the portside guns. Mirai directs the white base near the cliff as the two jeeps approach, and they launch off the cliff onto it. Sayla is busy engaging the Zaku's with the Gundam as Amuro watches. With Amuro's direction, Sayla is able to destroy the Zaku.
Again, repeatedly saying, Sayla is the worst possible pilot there is.
Well, as she's showing some improvement here. I mean, she didn't throw up immediately when she went out.
Yeah. And she was competent enough at this point in time to be able to take down a Zaku.
Yeah, but let's just be honest. All the piloting skills went to her brother.
Yeah. Well, I would say as far as piloting goes, Sayla's probably about a C grade.
Yeah, probably.
I mean,
she's definitely in the upper beginners class.
Right. She's at about I'd say she might be at about par where Amuro first jumped in after her two experiences with the mobile suit
and
with the Gundam.
And who knows how much more simulation training she's done.
That, and also any improvements Amuro has done to get the Gundam within working order. Because that's something that doesn't really get talked about, is the Gundam was a prototype that wasn't ready to go. And hey, look at this. We got some more faces in the chat. Like Zakarot 315. That's a
howdy, dude.
New name. Hello and welcome.
Welcome to the show. Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, especially with everything that Amuro has.
Jace, I'm a wolf. Truly, trust me. The axe isn't gonna make it. We're gonna. One of us is not gonna be walking at the end of that fight, and I can guarantee you it's not gonna be me.
Well, don't forget,
we're going Norse here.
Jace is Norwegian. The wolf that you're trying to copycat is from his culture, so careful.
Oh, I know that. I know.
But so I mean, especially like Ironcaster said, is that Amuro working with the Gundam, all that information that is collected off of the Gundam is being used for is probably being used for the simulations to better help train people. And
yeah,
also,
you're right. The black box of the Gundam and all its combat prowess has been getting put into all the other mobile suits as well.
Yes, I mean later on. In fact, actually, this is something that Kakarot 437, I think his name is. I can't remember his name. He has mentioned that in the Gundam lore, the Gundam is not the only mobile suit that the Federation has. They're already starting to pump out mass-produced models, but it's the information that's collected from the Gundam that is being transferred to these other mobile suits, the other GMs and the ground Gundams, that is helping to make them better and getting them ready for their eventual reveal on the battlefield.
I mean, and you're going to see a lot of that really come about when we get to Operation Odessa, which is the big event coming up, and we lost them.
It's actually a really good idea. Well, that's like borderline Borg hive mind. That could backfire.
I actually hit the wrong exit.
Oh, you did that too?
Yes, I did. I meant to exit out of something else, but so I mean, something that a lot of people don't realize is that actually the Gundam that we have that is in the show is actually the second model of the Gundam. It's
okay.
This is the Gundam that Amuro pilots is the RX-78-2 Gundam.
That's right.
The older Gundam is the one that most other Gundams and gyms are based off of, the RX-78-1, which had a... Let me see if maybe I can find a picture of it, because...
Well, in the meantime, let me get a little bit more read off. Let's see. Sailor's busy. Agent Games of the Zaku is Amuro watches. Let's see. You got this part. Oh, there we go. Let's see what
So
you got.
This
Oh, I
is the
love the colors.
RX-78-1, the prototype Gundam. So this is what the Gundam that we see in the show is based off of. This is what the ground Gundams are based off of. This is what the gyms are based off of. It shows right here.
Was the 78-3 the one they used to be what Tomino originally intended the gun to look like?
Trying to see here. It actually has the different variants. Where? Oh, where? Okay, can't find it that way. Oops.
I like the color scheme on the first one better. Looks more dangerous.
G3. So
Yes, that's it. Yeah. So that 78-3 there was what Tomino originally wanted the color scheme of it to look like, for the idea being that it would be better for space.
yeah, but I mean, heck, we can't do that because we got to have some colorful flair in it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Bright, flashy colors.
That's what we got this design from.
Bright colors scream hero.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You know, speaking of heroes, I think I'm ready to get back in this real quick.
Yep.
Mirai realizes that the Gallop would be firing more missiles at the White Base if they intended to simply destroy the White Base. Ral and his men soon launched with their QEs, using jetpacks and approach the White Base. Sailor realizes that the Gundam's weapons are too powerful to take out any of the soldiers. Ral's men fire upon the White Base crew as they attempt to defend the White Base from attack. Clamp blasts a hole in the White Base so as to enter, but is shot afterwards. Ral and the rest of his men are able to make it inside, however.
Time to repel borders.
God, this is such a great high tense moment, high energy part of this episode where we get into the battle proper. And like,
yeah, I mean,
how cool is it with the jetpacks?
Look at this. Rambaral's going straight into battle up front, not hiding in behind the scenes. He's right there with his men, ready to combat and die with them. Now that's a leader in combat.
He definitely is the exception among military leaders, especially compared to the Federation and Zeon leadership. You don't really have military commanders that would be willing to go out into the thick of battle with his troops, because
I just hope we somehow get more of him in future episodes. Maybe flashbacks.
Ral doing this, he's kind of like the leaders from the world of tradition, like your Alexanders. Even in great science fiction like Lord Vader, always walked at the front of the troops, fighting with them. Like Alexander was known for eating with his troops, sleeping with his troops, slept, and fighting side by side.
Yeah, I mean that's exactly.
This is Ral.
That is exactly who Ral is that he is an old-timey, he's a classic military commander. He is a man who is out of time. He's not like other commanders that even compared to modern age, he would be considered old-fashioned.
Yeah, I mean, he comments in this episode how he's fighting people half his age. Here, he's not exactly a young man in this war. He is like you said, that old soldier.
He's not a spring chicken.
Mm-hmm. I almost said that too. But also, like, God, how cool are these shots where you have the jetpack fighting like soldiers coming down, guns ablazing, but you have your heroes pulling out basically machine guns, fending them off. Amuro's actually like, you kind of forget about Amuro being a shitty person for a while.
Yeah.
I mean, Amuro is gotten over his little "oh woe is me," and so he is now willing
Yeah,
to
because he
play
kind of
as
wants to
a
be
member of the team.
Rambo. Again, just look at that. Look at the guy right there. Specifically, this scene with this soldier. Before he put the bomb there, he literally wanted to get the kid out of there, even
Like, get
screaming at
that
it,
kid
despite the
out of
fact there was
here.
no sound.
Well, I mean, no one wants to kill kids. I mean, only a maniac would want to kill children.
Anakin Skywalker was not a maniac. He had a mission to do. They just got in the way.
Anakin Skywalker was a maniac.
Yeah, but you gotta love these small details showing who these soldiers are. They're not showing either any of the sides as being completely evil or good.
No, and
except for
that is war. War is messy business, and there are good and bad people on both sides.
And that's more often than not the truth of it.
It kind of takes away the whole that side is just purely evil image, and it makes you look like they're good people. And it's like, sometimes it makes you rethink, like, okay, maybe these people aren't so bad. Why are we fighting them again?
Well, I mean, we almost had that during the Christmas truce of during World War I.
yeah.
Raul and his men head through the White Base, engaging in firefights with the crew. Raul comes across Frau, knocks the gun out of her hand, telling her to hide someplace safe, that he doesn't want to have to shoot a child.
Again,
Frau recognizes him from before. Meanwhile, Arnold is confronted by a Zeon soldier, but is rescued by Bright, who tells him to get into the Gundam and to destroy the second bridge if it's taken by the enemy. Which, by the way, I love it. Like, I didn't get a good shot of it here, but Bright just basically shoots that soldier in the head, just square, and you cut away from the soldier, from the struggle, just to look up the Bright. Like, he's not bloodthirsty Bright.
Well, I mean, he's the commander of the White Base. He is protecting his men and his ship.
Oh yeah, but I mean, Bright was taking it easy on them. He could have backhanded that man, but that would have been a war crime.
And here's a fated confrontation.
Yep. Sayla heads back inside and quickly encounters Raul, who immediately recognizes her as Princess Artesia. Raul tells her that he is the son of Jimbo Raul, who served her father, Zeon Zoom Daikun. Ryu arrives and shoots at Raul. Oh, there, it's by the way, Jimbo Raul. Ryu arrives and shoots at Raul, hitting him. Raul fires back as he barricades himself into the second bridge, and Ryu is wounded as well. Bright tells Amuro to destroy the second bridge.
I don't think that was Jimbo. I think that was Rumbarol, but younger.
The wiki says Jimbo.
Does it?
Yes, it does. Because every version of Rambo we've seen of him as an adult has had the mustache, so I have to.
Because this one here, the one that I'm looking at right now, says it's Rumbarol.
Well, I'm looking at the Gundam fandom.com. But it's debatable. I had thought it to be Ramba as well.
I mean, it does look like him a little bit, just to tack on a beard. Because
and about 20 years.
Jimbarol is this
15 years.
Gentleman here. This is Jimbarol right here.
Okay.
That's the only known depiction of Jimbarol that I know of outside of the Origins, but Origins is pseudo canon.
Inside the second bridge, Raul tells his men to retreat and that the mission is a failure. Oh. Let me pull my images back up. Here we have Ryu getting shot. He contacts Haman to tell her that in the middle of the fight, he forgot to fight. Seconds later, Gundam blasts through the second bridge with its javelin, killing his fellow soldiers. Raul thinks of how ironic it is that the enemies he's been fighting all this time are children. Wright and the others soon are able to enter the second bridge. Raul tells them that they have fought splendidly and that he will show them the fate of a true soldier. He pulls out a grenade and jumps off the white base, exploding near the Gundam's hand.
And I'm just gonna say this one thing. This guy, he went out like a true badass. Not like a pussy out there on the floor bleeding out. Jumped off with a grenade in his hands, went kaboom. That's the way to get. That's how a badass dies.
What choice did he have? If he would have been captured, they could have tortured him for information. I'm not saying they would have, but it is a strong possibility because, number one, these aren't really Federation soldiers. As he's even noticed, they're kids. So who knows what they would have done? I mean, this sensitive information.
We already know what they would have done. I mean, they already showed that with Kazum in the earlier episodes. They took care of him until Kazum tried to escape. And they were willing to, even though they're not officially part of the Federation military structure, they still were upholding the Antarctic Treaty.
But even then, Raul doesn't know what they're willing to do.
No.
Well, he knows they're willing to. For all he knows, they're willing to send in
Just
children into battle.
Just out of curiosity, in this world, does the law of not attacking medics in the battlefield still apply?
It should.
Supposed to.
I don't see why I wouldn't. Real quick, I say hello to Mr. Grant Gregory. How's it going?
Hello.
I would say with Ron Burrell, it goes with the old saying, better to die on your feet than live on your knees.
Agreed.
Real quick, let me get this last bit wrapped up, and then we can finish up some of the episode talk, and we can cut loose a little bit. Haman continues to fire at Gundam, using the gallop, and Amuro cries out to her that Rabaral is dead and she must escape. He throws the beam javelin at the gallop, destroying it. Haman is able to eject the bridge and escape seconds before. Inside White Base, the crew carries away one of the wounded crew members on a stretcher. And so the episode ends with them tending to their wounded.
To the dead and wounded. Both sides now go back to their respective corners to lick their wounds.
And that was hand-to-hand combat.
It's a very good episode. I mean, the whole Rumbarall arc of Gundam is basically kind of the high point of Gundam.
Yeah, it's certainly one of those peaks. It's been a nice overall arc where I've been pretty harsh on Amuro. With my thoughts on Amuro deserting and running away in the Gundam and all that, but at least you always had Rambaral to sort of look forward to and sort of be in the wings. And it's going to be unfortunate with him gone now.
Yeah, it very much will be. There are other villains that do come in here and there, but they definitely will not be like Rumbarall.
It's a shame.
It is.
I like the way that I like characters like him and we see them in basically all your different fictions. There's always one like him. And it's great for me because it brings back the world of tradition. It brings back to when men would rather fight face to face than at a distance.
Yeah, I mean, Rumbarol is definitely there's all in many medias and stories and stuff like that. There's always the character like Rumbarol who is a man of honor and respect,
Having some
and
technical problems here.
who you're willing to agree with at certain points in time. So you're willing to sit down and have a drink with, even if he is your enemy. But sadly, men like Rumbarol are undermined and backstabbed by their supposed allies. In this case, Makuve with Rumbarol.
No, actually, Ironcaster brought up a good point to me the other day. Is that with this episode, they're going to guerrilla warfare hand to hand in corridors, taking away the advantage of all the large robots and everything. Now it's like it's a whole nother level of fighting.
Yeah,
he and I discussed that and how intense that would be. Where it's one thing to shoot at you from a distance, but it's a whole nother when you're stuck in a corridor and these bullets can bounce.
Well, that, and also this is a form of warfare that the crew of the White Base is not familiar with. They're not familiar with hand-to-hand combat.
And furthermore, it takes away it's a psychological attack to be attacked in what is their home. It takes away that sense of security that they would have otherwise had. That for the most part, outside of this, that the war was effectively outside of the ship. They've never had to fight it on the inside like this, with soldiers coming in to attack and take over the ship.
Yep, and also shooting and killing basically your family. The men and women on the White Base are a family.
Yep, you have to be able to protect these people, and you have to be able to count on them to help you out.
And there, as we've said multiple times, the men and women of White Base, they are from mostly civilian stock, so they do not have the military discipline to detach themselves. Even people who serve in the military, they still see as the person that is standing beside them as a brother or sister. But for people who are on the White Base, who don't have that military discipline, it's harder. It's hard.
And you figure that taking away the sense of peace and comfort and safety from inside the base, now knowing not only can it be invaded, it has been invaded.
Yep.
Yeah, it's certainly a good high point in the show, and it's a bit of a change from here on out. But I mean, we've now gone into a position where we're starting to see what the next big threat is, who the next big threat is going to be. Where you're also now seeing that Zeon isn't as wholly a solid structure as it was made out to be. That there are cracks and factions within Zeon that are fighting for materials and supplies,
for dominance of Zeon itself.
Yep, and similar to how the loss of Garma. When we lost Garma, we were then introduced to Rambaral through that. Well, now with the loss of Rambaral, we're starting to see who they're setting up to be the next obstacle for them to fight. Someone who is much bigger, much more powerful. This is someone who maintains resources. This is someone who who controls those resources, who can be a much bigger threat for them.
It was also a very cunning mind.
That too.
Everyone's playing checkers while he is playing chess. We're also getting closer to Odessa Day, to the Federation's offensive against the main Xeon mining operation on Earth.
Yep, and by that point we'll have to start seeing more of the Federation. So for now we're still kind of at that point where we're seeing the zenith of the white base by itself, and them ultimately getting reeled over into the military proper.
Well, I mean, the whole purpose of the white base was to be a distraction and a gnat, a fly to Makuve's operations, to distract and to divert resources.
Which I think is going to be great going forward from here. And I'm certainly looking forward to talking about some more of this and seeing what you guys think. So I guess we should probably, to wrap it up a little bit. I think this episode is about 9.5. I really liked it. Oh, what the hell? It's a 10. Anyone else?
I'll give it.
Right. Okay. I gave it a 10. I enjoyed the action, the strategic use, Rambaral in general, and the guerrilla warfare. So yeah, a 10.
I'll give it a 8.5 to 9. It's love the action, love the story, love the reveal that Rambaral knew Sayla or Lady Artesia, and just seeing the tragic ending of a man with great respect for both his enemy and his men.
I'm going to give this one a 10 for the fact that we finally got to see some guerrilla warfare. We got to see Rambaral as the leader he was born to be in the front lines, fighting with everybody. And the way that the Xeon troops told the kids, get away from here, there's going to be a blast. The way he could have killed Frau, could have killed Sayla, he didn't do either one. And that bit of honor cost him his life. And the way that he went out, I think, was the best way for a man like him, because that's the only, it kind of reminded me of Japanese or the samurai seppuku. Or
Setsuku.
Thank you. It's like, it's a ritual suicide. It's like he killed himself to regain his honor that he had lost from losing this battle, from hesitating. I kind of look at it like that. Like, he was going out for one, yeah, I'm not going to be captured. You're not getting anything out of me. And two, it was to show that he was willing to die. And for me, this man has become my favorite character so far in this series. He's a man that you wouldn't just fight for. It's a man you'd be willing to die for. And that's a rare thing.
I mean, I'd say so far, in your own words, as we've done this, we've had a couple of men like that in this show. We had Char, we had Rambaral, as both people that that, as you said, people would die for.
Yeah.
And Fenrir, since I've asked this a couple of times of you, and since considering that you're new to the show, I do want to ask you again. At this point, oh yeah, Jace, we gotta get you watching the show. Where do you think the show? Yeah, or I mean, I would say at this point you don't even need to watch all 20 episodes. Just come jump in the next episode. What do you think of? What do you think of this show so far, and where do you think it's going?
Dude, I've already said I'm really enjoying the show. It shows great images of war, what it is. It's not just an easy one-sided streak that both are just people who want different things, and as such are seeing each other as enemies. Both have great adventures. I'm enjoying the way the characters are being shown and developed, and it's not an endless OP ocean of bullshit with politics that are insanely ridiculous and social political that reflect the modern world. As long as they don't do that, I'm happy. Because I just want something to entertain myself.
Yeah, it's
And
funny
Gundam
when
does it right.
you can use little political elements to tell a story and confine
Yes,
that
but only if
to
it's
that
intelligent.
story.
Yeah, but
Well,
it's
I
only
mean,
if it's intelligent.
Gundam does have a political narrative, which is the horrors of war. Gundam is reverberations from World War II.
Well, right, but it's unlike a lot of modern shows. It's not constantly trying to bash you over the head with an overt message.
Well, not like the later ones, which is abandon your weapons and turn to pacifism.
Yeah, we will pacify pacifism, or we kill you.
Yeah. I'm all for peace, but abandoning all weapons? No, sorry. Just because you put away a gun doesn't mean there won't be a rock nearby.
So, Chris,
The only bleeding
I think this would be a good question for you, Chris. For the agent, which show do you think he would like more, Wing or Double O?
Well, I mean, they're both basically in a sense, they're both basically the same concept. It's just that Double O, I think, does it better.
You might be right. It's been a while since I've seen it. I'm just, I think for Wing, I just feel like it's just the overt popularity of it. Like it's almost, I hate to say it, some of that kind of hipsterish, like, oh, it's too mainstream. It's like, yeah, okay, I get it. This one's fun, but there are so many other good shows that just have to live in the shadow of what is just an okay show.
Gundam Wing is kind of like the boy band of Gundam.
It is.
Each of the characters, they have a personality type. You had the bad boy, you had the sensitive one, you have the silent one, you have the jokester. Actually, you have two bad boys.
Scary Spice.
Yeah, so yeah, and it's just it's a
you
good
guys
show.
really are selling this.
It's a good show. It does kind of get bogged down, and it does have some slow parts in it here and there, but it's a decent show. And the politics behind in the show, the politics within the show, not like real world politics, but in world politics, is very interesting, which is this political intrigue between various factions that keep on backstabbing each other until the whole world is like, enough, we are done with this system, let's make something entirely new. But Double O does a better job at portraying the story of a ragtag group trying to bring about social change.
Yeah, it's one I'm looking forward to revisiting. And, hey, maybe in about a year or two we'll get there. Oh, wait, no, what's that? Zeta has 50 episodes? Wait, what's that? Double Zeta has 50 episodes?
Roughly, yeah.
What?
Actually, I do have an idea that we could. I have an idea that we could possibly solve this a little bit and make things kind of move a little quicker. But I'll talk to you about that backstage.
Oh, and since I forgot to do this earlier,
I'm disappointed.
Wait, dude, no. You forgot the greatest speech of them all. We can't end without that.
I don't need a kid to tell me how I should do my job. You're a selfish brat.
Well, yes, that is a good speech.
Yeah.
I agree. I'm gonna have to get some more clips.
But yeah, I mean, I'm very disappointed that you forgot that little clip.
You're slacking.
Wow.
All right, so I guess let's wrap this up, guys. What have you got coming up this week, Agent?
Well, I've got my.
Hey,
I'm
Decibel, we
starting to
still
actually-
we still got a stream pendant, right?
Yes, we're going to have to get to that. Absolutely. This Friday, unfortunately, I'm going to be busy. I have to go out of town. So if
All
we
right,
can plan
then, no
for
problem.
the next Friday, absolutely.
Yeah, no problem, dude.
Because the last one was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Yeah, I caught a little bit of that. That did look fun.
yeah, it was my best one. The other ones that I'm still trying to make up, they don't compare to that, dude. We had quite a chemistry of bitching and moaning right there.
Well, what I got coming on, I finally got back on the job, so I'm bringing out more mentor moments to help the villains out there and on the internet to do their job properly. I've
Good
also
to
got to
hear.
get the next chapter of the Henchman's Handbook coming out, and I'm also working on, as I said at the beginning of the show, a villains review where I'm going to review lesser known villains, but some that are just a little more fun, so I don't sound like such a wet blanket all the time.
All the time.
All the time. Let's just say I never get invited to parties, and there's a good reason for it.
Mhm.
Are you? Does this mean you're gonna finally watch some 007?
I'll tell you what, I'll get around to watching some. You're talking about the James Bond?
Yes, I mean like actual James Bond.
Actual James Bond. Yeah, because I think one of the guys I'm going to do is Goldfinger.
Oh, I need it. I need it.
It's the U.S. custom.
It's the first Gundam Maxter. For America.
America.
Because I've been telling you for a while, you need to go watch Goldfinger.
Yes, you have. You've been on me. I will get around to it.
Goldfinger.
I had
I
a
remember
really
the
crazy.
theme from that movie. What was it? What was it exactly? Goldfinger.
I've had a really crazy week, and this weekend's not going to be any easier, but I will get to it by next weekend.
Ooh. All right. Fenrir, what else do you have coming up? Do you have anything?
I have absolutely
streams?
nothing else coming up. I've already done 2 streams. Both of them were pretty 50-50. So I'm just gonna sit down, relax. Who knows? Maybe just drink a couple of sodas or so and just eat a couple of wings and just let the time fly by.
I like it. Sounds fun. A couple, maybe a chill stream in there somewhere.
Yeah, who knows?
Not a bad
Maybe.
idea.
I mean, I'll probably do nothing. Just sit there as the stream goes, just sitting there, doing nothing. Who's gonna be interested in seeing me doing that? Seriously, who's gonna waste about hours of their life just watching me eat and just sit there, not talking about shit?
Hey, what's that? Nick Cato?
Hmm?
That one guy who's been just eating himself to death.
Oh, jeez.
You know, I know a young lady that was watching a Japanese guy just eat stuff. I'm like, why? And they said, don't judge me. I'm like, okay, so you don't have an answer. Awesome.
Yeah, like because apparently there is a market for that. There's like a guy who's like in 3 years, like it looks like he ate his old self.
It's like you couldn't find something better to do, something a little more productive.
They never do.
Well, sorry to sandwich that between the kind of end stuff, but Chris, what's coming up?
Nothing much. Just Jason and I will be doing our show on Thursday evening, the Beyond show, and from there it's kind of who knows what will happen. I do believe he wants to do a stream for his own birthday, which is in 4 days, I do believe. So we'll probably
we'll all bust out the crow makeup for it.
Yeah. And then Monday will be another show on your stream for the Pit and the Pendulum.
Right.
Talk about
we've
Peter,
got come up.
Vincent Price.
Yep.
I gotta watch the first one.
The Pit and the Pendulum.
No, the Dracula one. I popped in at the very end of it. I haven't watched it yet.
That's right.
Monday.
It's an
Monday
right
evenings. I'm busy.
It's an all right movie, but it's honestly not quite as good as the horror of Curse. The Curse of Frankenstein. Sorry, this is the name.
Yeah,
so interchangeable. And that's always been the thing, is that the Frankenstein movies always tend to be just that little bit better, because I guess you got that human element to it. Whereas Dracula is just like an eternal living monster.
He's a parasite.
Basically.
He really is. Just a parasite.
He's the Prince of Darkness. Fear.
I know. So I've seen vampires done a lot better.
So
the old Dracula. No.
Wrap up for myself. Let's see, coming up. Oh, that's right. That is coming up on the 30th. We're going to do a stream talking about The Crow. I can't wait.
Okay,
so coming up,
guys, now if you excuse me, I'm going to go out. Just maybe start eating the wings right now and just getting some extra. If you guys need me for something else, maybe a stream, maybe just talk, because I'm bored enough. Just give me a call. I'll most likely join you, because I'm that bored.
Yep. Hey, if I got something coming up,
either that, or I might be bored, or I might be busy doing other stuff, because I've been getting into the Shadow lately, and I got to say the character's pretty good. I mean, just listening to the radio, it's kind of better than just watching on screen. Just
your mind gets to fill in a lot of the blanks with it.
Yeah, just staying late on the bed, putting the earplugs on, just listening. You can imagine everything going on in your head. It's pretty much better.
Absolutely. So,
okay.
All right, catch you later, Fenrir.
Hail Zeon.
Okay, then. Peace, guys. And may the evil be with you.
So, as to kind of wrap up for myself, Thursday over on Clobbering Times should be the Global Geek Gang. So, come hop on over there, and we'll do a little comic chit chat or see what happens. And Friday afternoon over on Father Christopher Miller's for the build up to FNT. And Friday night's going to be over on Nick Weiser's, where we're talking more comic books. So with that, guys, stay safe, and guys, remember that moral of the story with Gundam. War may be bad, but at least you look cool in a big robot.